instead of struggling for 20 minutes to try to make one video, I think we were like able to make like 5 videos in 16 minutes or whatever it is, right? Today, I'm making videos with Robb Gilbear, and his story is unbelievable. This guy went from high school dropout to global DJ to advising the highest level of CEOs, and now he's helped over 400 entrepreneurs start and set up their own businesses. In this episode, you're going to get insight from Robb on how to turn your real life experiences into a high ticket, high trust brand. Plus, he's going to share his key mindset shifts so that you can stop second guessing and start taking action and building the business and life that you want. I want to dive into this whole thing. Like, how old were you when you started the first business?
17, record label. Dropped out of high school and I started a record label, started DJing, and made a full career out of it.
Beautiful. So I'm so curious. So you drop out of high school, start a business at 17. How do you end up in such a high level corporate position?
Tenacity, drive, a weird set of coincidences. Really what it came down to. So I did the music thing, fully toured. I DJed at Burning Man, played at Ultra Music Festival in Miami, in Europe, 65 cities from coast to coast in the US and Canada. Like I really made a full thing of it. But the late nights, the drinking, and the unhealthy lifestyle nearly killed me. Like actually nearly killed me. So I was walking away from the only career I knew at that point. It was where my identity was anchored in. It's where I'd met my wife. But I was also walking away from marriage because in that turbulence, my marriage fell apart. So I had to start all over. Life costs money. Thankfully, I'm bilingual. My mother tongue is French. Being bilingual and living in Canada is a very big, strong suit to have. I'd had some experience in a call center, and there was a big company trying to take a different approach with HR and thought, if we had some frontline HR people on the phones to answer the bullshit day-to-day questions, we could free up the senior people. The first people they hired for that role, they took some HR people who had no call center experience, and those people floundered. So they said, okay, what if we find someone who has call center experience, is bilingual, and has the right mix of interest in business and people? Can we train that person up in HR? And that was their hypothesis. I was hired into the role. I did well there, and that allowed me to move up into different roles. And eventually I was head of people and culture in tech companies where I coach CEOs and coach leaders.
Wow. So basically this company or this person inside the company essentially just took a chance on you.
Big time. Yeah. Took a chance on me. There's at least 3 companies that I know of that my lack of formal post-secondary experience was like a hindrance. I worked at one place and I worked in an apartment of 100, and there was one other person who didn't have a university or college degree. That other person, their sister was in a senior role at the company. So it was, when I work at Randstad, I worked in a recruiting company. The hiring manager liked me. My direct manager really liked me, but they had to get approval by the partner. And he looked at my experiences like, what the fuck is this? So I met with him and I chatted with him, and he asked me a few questions. We got talking about business, and I got talking about the hustle I used to have to do to sell records, going from store to store to convince people my dad's age to stock my product, faxing stuff to Australia, London, New York, and Montreal to get people to buy my stuff. And then I remember seeing his body language change, and he's like, oh, you're good. Like, you're in. So it was people taking chances on me having skills, transferable skills from having done stuff on my own, eating shit, like tried stuff, experimented.
Really cool. So what prepared you, or what propelled you, I should say, to go from this into coaching?
When I was doing the head of people and culture stuff, I was grateful because of all the jobs you can have in an office. For me, it was definitely one of the best things because it is at the intersection of business and people. And it is obviously stupid to think that you can treat the employees any which way and it won't affect the business. That's fairly common sense. But it also doesn't matter how well you treat the employees. If the business isn't doing well, there's no jobs. So I played this role of kind of balancing both. And I love people. I'm fascinated with people. What makes people tick? What makes some businesses succeed and some businesses don't? What allows people to feel confident? So it's this intersection of things that I'm fascinated about. And in that role, getting to coach senior leaders, getting to coach CEOs, it didn't feel like work. When I got to do training on communication, it didn't feel like work. When I got to sit with someone and ask powerful questions and help them have ahas about a different approach they could take to solve what felt like an unsolvable problem, it didn't feel like work. So I started coaching a bit on the side. And really at first I didn't, I just started sharing what the hell I was doing. So I was decided that I needed to take a different path. I didn't have the guts to quit my job in my 40s, 2 kids, mortgage. It's too late for me was the nonsense I was telling myself. But I started showing up. I started showing up online. It was Instagram. I wasn't playing on LinkedIn then. I started showing up on Instagram, started posting, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm learning. And it was with habits. I read Atomic Habits and I treated it. I was like, what if I took this as a course? What if I actually applied? What if instead of just reading the pages, I actually applied what was in here? And I documented. I posted like, here's my morning routine. Here's me using my accountability checklist. Here's me doing my workout. Here's how it's making me feel. And it made people come to me and say, hey, look, whatever this is, dude, like, give me, can I have whatever you got? So I started coaching people on the side, and it gave me the guts to think like, well, what if I actually gave this a shot? Like, what if I made a proper go of this?
Awesome. And then what brought you to like, so all right, now you said, what if you made a proper go of it? You decided you're all in, you made the decision now. So what, how did you, now let's shift a little bit. What do you consider, what type, if somebody said to you, what type of coach are you? What type of coach are you? Do you consider yourself?
I'm hesitant sometimes to use the word coach. I'll just say more, I'm a business mentor. I'm a business coach, a business mentor. And it's funny because we were just talking about how the coaching I was doing at first was habits coaching. So like, okay, how the heck did I go from there to here? So I got the guts to quit my job, go on coaching, and I saw something was going on at LinkedIn on the time. And I started posting a little bit on LinkedIn. And my third post on the platform that wasn't hey, our company won an award. Like my first real post on the platform was me saying, I quit my job. I'm going all in on this habits coaching thing. I'm so damn excited. And in that post, I described who I knew I was meant to work with. And I didn't talk about their age, where they lived. I talked about who they were as humans. I talked about what they'd been through. I talked about that they are driven and so close to the finish line. And it was so, like, I owned it. I was nothing unique about it. I was like, I quit my job and this is what I'm doing and this is why I'm excited. That shit caught fire. I had 1,800 connections on LinkedIn, 1,900 maybe. Post got 20,000 views, 300 likes, hundreds of comments. I was inundated with business. Within a matter of days, I was taking coaching calls in the morning and coaching calls at lunch at work. And I was put in a position where I either had to burn out or say no to business as I was launching a new company. So I went to my boss and said, hey, I know I originally gave you 2 months notice so I could help backfill my role. I got to go in 2 weeks. So I went all in with the habits coaching. I did that, full roster clients. But then other people started coming to me. Other coaches came and said, how the hell did you do this? So I saw you, full-time employee, now full roster clients. I'm seeing you get clients overseas. I see you. There's some magic you're doing on LinkedIn that I'm not privy to. So people asked to pick my brain, and I gave them insights on like, hey, you might want to think about this in your messaging, or you might want to update that on your post, or here's some ideas for you. 1 week, 3 people asked for those calls. 2 of them ended with the person saying, how do I have another one of these conversations? And I went, that's how I switched into the business coaching and business mentorship I do now.
Wow. Cool. It's a cool like evolution or whatever. So, how much of the business mentorship is business and how much of it is mindset?
This is a question from only someone with experience can ask. It's a coin toss. It's at least 50-50, because I can tell you what I think you should do. I can tell you what's worked for me, what's worked for hundreds of people I've worked with. But if you are hesitant, afraid, or unsure, you're going to get in your own way. You won't do it. And then also, what's great advice for one person is not a great guidance for another person. So it's a matter of helping that person tune into like, what's their strengths, what do they want to do. And not that it happens every week, but there's someone in tears on a call like once a week, once every couple of weeks. Like, it's normal. And it's not like, boo hoo, poor me. It's just like, this is tough. I'm stuck. I'm unsure. This entrepreneur thing is insane. And absolutely, mindset is a huge piece of it. And I was just at a mastermind last week with a bunch of people that are doing incredibly well. And there's someone there who had a $150,000 month. Someone else there that had a $72,000 day a couple of weeks ago. And we talked a bit about strategies and tactics and client acquisition, but 60-70% of the time was about mindset, was about getting out of your own way mentally, about becoming the person who can have that kind of business.
Beautiful. So as far as the clients that you work with, like what has been like, just give me like an example of like just one of your favorite stories of like how they came to you and like what, like in what state they were in and like where they're at right now.
I have to say this was my favorite because of what the work that they do. There's just no other way. And it's hard because I absolutely love my clients, and I'm like deep relationships, consider many of them friends. So to pick one feels like I'm parent choosing a favorite child, but Joe's story is so unique that it would be wrong to not call him out. So he messaged me and talked about that he wanted to go all in on a coaching and training kind of thing. He was hesitant, he was afraid, and I have the screenshot of the conversation. He says, in 10 years, like I can do this, and like I'll work my way up to it. Maybe in 5 years, I can do it part-time. In 10 years, I can do it full-time. And I challenged him and I said, well, why that long? Like, why not in a year? And 6 months later, he quit his job. And what's awesome about him is he is creating a business that is for good, for social good, meaning 25% of all of his revenue, top line revenue, not profit, top line revenue, goes to a center for grieving children, goes to a center where children are dealing with the loss of a parent or loved one due to suicide. I have goosebumps saying it to you. And he was just interviewed on a really big podcast this week. He's written a book, and he's, through his work and his company's work, Data Gives Back, I think it's 80 kids have been able to go through this program at this center because of the money they've donated. It's unreal.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not pick that as the one story? Like I get it. And you know what? And I don't think any one of your other clients like will be offended by that either.
I don't think so.
That you didn't choose them. Like you chose the right one. All right. So what's your advice to the person that's like in your former life or whatever, where they're just feeling like they're kind of stuck, they're ready for something different, but they're just like kind of afraid to make a move?
Your intuition, your little voice that's saying it to you, is not going to go away. And you can drink, overeat, you can keep yourself busy, you can work 24 hours a day, you can do all sorts of stuff to try and ignore it and numb it, and it will not go away. And my hypothesis is if you ignore it and don't make a move forward, that the weight of the regret later will be much heavier than any weight you feel right now. That's the first thing I would say. The next thing I would say is I've owned or co-owned 3 different businesses in 3 different industries. The first one was in the 90s. It was hard. Like I couldn't break into the Toronto music scene, so that then I made 15,000 flyers that said, "Who the fuck is Robb G?" And it was kind of bio. And I stood outside events and promoted it. And I like all this stuff earlier, going from store to store. And I had someone yell at me because of how much I wanted to stock my records. It was tough. It kind of feels like cheating now. The difficult part now is that it feels endless. Like, where do I start? Where do I go? Do I focus on LinkedIn? Do I do a podcast? Do I do video? Do I start a blog? Like, that's the hard part. But it's never been easier to get your message out. It's never been easier to build a community. It's never been easier to start building something on your own terms.
I love it. Oh, I had the question and I lost it. Okay. So, yes. All right. So one thing that has like really like one thing from my perspective, just watching you and like your content, and like we don't know each other well, just like through content or whatever, right? But one of the things that I've got is just like you just like to have fun, right? And it shows in the content that you put out there. And I think that that's such a big differentiator and I think that's a reason that people are attracted to you because like people want to have fun. They want to enjoy the
Yes.
process and everything like that. Right. So how are you basically bringing that fun and energy like into your content and doing it successfully to rope people in?
I'm very conscientious of slimming the gap between who I am in my personal life and my best moments when my friends and family say they love spending time with me and who I am online to not create some fake online avatar. And I just try closing the gap and ensure there's alignment there because the worst thing that was ever said to me as an employee was during an annual review and I was told that I smile too much. So fuck that. What do I enjoy doing? How do I enjoy living life? And you mentioned it as far as enjoying the process. And if I can't have fun doing it, I don't want to do it. Like the quote, which I love so much, which is, "We live two lives, and the second one starts when we realize we have just one." Dude, I'm closer to 50 than to 40. I'm gonna meet suit that's gonna shrivel away. Like if I'm not enjoying the ride, why bother? And it's not for everyone. And I know if I show up with this kind of being myself, genuine energy, making fun of myself, not worrying if I have typos, I attract other people who either are embodying that kind of creative, fun, I want to enjoy the ride energy, or they want more of it. And those are my people.
Beautiful, man. All right, Rob. Well done. Instead of struggling for 20 minutes to try to make one video, I think we were like able to make like 5 videos in 16 minutes or whatever it is, right? So man, I appreciate you. I'm gonna we'll cut it up. We'll give you some clips here that you'll have. And if there's anything that we could do, obviously give me a shout and hopefully we'll have you back sometime.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Danny. Not only are you fucking awesome at what you do, but your approach here when I went back and said like, "Hey, I don't feel good about this," your approach, your response, and the way you created space the second time, incredible. Like my love and respect for you just went like.
You got it, man. You got it. So I hope you enjoyed Rob's story as much as I did and that you also got some ideas to help you grow your business. So from this 18-minute recording with Rob, we were able to get 8 clips that he can use on LinkedIn and all his social media channels. And if you are a busy founder who doesn't have time to be constantly making videos, but knows how important it is, this is what we do. We deliver high quality videos quickly and in a conversational, natural fashion where you could just be yourself, talk about your business, share your insights, share your stories, and attract ideal clients. If you want more information on how to put your video on easy mode, head on down to the description and holler at your boy. I'll see you on the next one.